In fact, until each of us becomes our own leader, we really don't have much of a chance of changing anything. And so that should be our desire, to develop ourselves so that we can lead ourselves and not be led by people, no matter how, highly moral or intelligent or, awesome they may seem.
Are you your own leader?
I am.
Resistance is the secret of joy. When people are grinding you into the mud, that is your joy, resistance. And in fact, that's closer to where we are now as a world. And people have to really resist and understand the joy of it, that it's not just some horrendous chore resisting, that even if you go down affirming the wonder of this life. That is someone is trying to stamp out or stomp out, Absolutely, you have to resist. And if you don't resist, I really think you lose a part of your own life. I mean, we're not meant to succumb to dictatorial, crazy people. We're not. There will always be people who understand you and who will stand with you, always. And this is a great, great encouragement and beauty, that no matter what stance you take, in defense of, what is right, there will be people beside you.
That is what it means to love humanity. It means to show up when we need each other, to show up, just be there. The suffering, and all of us have suffered so much, my country, your country, decades and centuries, but actually suffering does have a purpose. And the purpose of it, one of them, is that it helps you connect. It opens you in a way to the suffering of other people. And that it is when we gather together that we know our strength. I mean, remember that scene in Tahrir Square where the people surrounded the tanks so much that the tanks couldn't move? That's what it is. It's beginning to know that we are one, and we are us, and not any separation at all. We are one expression of humanity.
You have to think of solidarity as something that strengthens you. It does in ways that you can't even imagine, because there's something about living up to your own spirit, to the demand of your own soul, that you act, that I think is very healthy, and it can really actually improve whatever situation that you are dealing with internally. The key, I think, is that at some point, you sort of learn that you are making a descent, and that at the bottom of that descent, there's this treasure, and that if you can hang on through it, you can get it. Depression has a use, like sadness. You really don't want to
feel it.
Yeah, you do. You want to feel. I mean, I remember once one of my early doctors just gave me Valium, and I took maybe 2 of them, and I felt so nothing that I threw it away, because I'd much rather feel what is happening. And especially when I started to see that at the bottom of this descent, there was all of this understanding. When we do encounter the difficult things in life, rather than running, we can get to a place, in ourselves where it is pretty peaceful. And then you don't feel desperation. You just feel that, the world is pretty much the way it is, and, you have your life in it. I was in South Africa last month, and part of the medicine of that trip was to talk about how they now have a president who's just very disturbing for them, and a very big step backward in terms of leadership and vision. And people are feeling a lot of despair, especially the women. And I was saying that part of what we can do is start to circle in each other's homes and call up, 7 or 8 of your friends and just have a circle without an agenda, but something that expresses your deepest concerns about the state of your country, the state of your world, the world. And that this might be a way for the concentric circles to finally join. And it would be a very organic way of transforming, the planet. This is not like trying to do it or doing it with the internet is similar. But where the internet is like, it's wonderful. I'm an Aquarian, so the internet is perfect for me. I mean, this circling is too, but the idea of thoughts just going through the air and transforming things, that's just fabulous. Is what I've been waiting for. But also grounding, so that you don't become just, as Aquarians can often be, in the air. You need to be in the ground. You need to be really solid. And this way of circling with other people can help that a lot. And it also helps us to feel more at home with our ideas and with our fears if we can do that with other people. A lot of what has to happen with people under oppression is a great deal of discipline. That's why, again, some kind of practice. If it's not meditation, it can be dancing, it can be painting, it can be writing. But there has to be some way to keep a healthy soul, to keep a real centered part of yourself that is not touched. Or if it is touched, it's not overrun by the oppression that you encounter on a daily basis. That is what I would like people to understand when they read The Color Purple, that there are all these terrible things that can actually happen to us, and yet life is so incredibly magical and abundant and present that we can still be very happy. It takes a lot of work, but you can actually be happy.